Hello and welcome back to my channel for another round of TBR Clever. TBR Clever, if you didn't know, is my TBR game because I don't like to make decisions based off the game Ganz schön clever. It's super easy, just a roll the dice game, but all I'm going to do is roll all 6 of the colored dice, which all correspond to different things. And can tell you where each dice goes as we play in case you have forgotten or you're new here. And then basically I'm playing a total of 6 rounds, 6 months, and after the 6th month I will add up my dice scores to see how clever I am. And I haven't thought of something yet for that. Like, I kind of want to do some sort of like either reward or giveaway or something, especially if my score doesn't suck. So let's just hop into this. If you're curious on how I did for February's Clever, I did pretty good. I'm pretty sure I finished it all, actually. See, the thing is I read so much. Like, so I do Clever for like a handful of the books I read, and then there's usually more readathons and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure, yep, I finished everything. I had my nonfiction, which was Don't Overthink It by Anne Bogle, completed that. The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh, finished that. I also had Maya and the Rising Dark by Rena Barron, finished. Brown Girl in the Ring by Nalo Hopkinson, done. How to Catch a Queen by Alyssa Cole, done. A Girl Like Her by Talia Hibbert, done. And then I had the game that I played. One of the dice always corresponds to a booktuber game, to try a different game, because I just want to try them all and see maybe there's something that I like even better. I ended up playing bingo, and for bingo, the books I got were If You Could Be Mine by Sarah Farzan, Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rosh, The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden, Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and The Rise of the Jumbies by Tracy Baptiste, and I completed all of them. Yay! So yeah. So we're going to just jump right into this and roll the dice. I already actually rolled all the dice because I like to get my TBR set, especially with readathons, so I'm just going to pop that in here. For the white dice, which is my nonfiction list, I have a list of 6 books. Trying to read at least 1 nonfiction book a month because it's not my favorite of genres, but it is important in my opinion. So for the white dice, it looks like we rolled a a 1, and 1 on my list was, where did it go? Oh yeah, Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. So I'm excited to read that. His show is just hilarious, and he's also just, I don't know, I like his show. And his accent, very nice, so I'm going to try to listen to this on audiobook so I can listen to him talk. Okay, our next roll. The purple dice picks which booktuber game I'm going to try, and my options were Bookopoly, Cody's Bookopoly, no, Becca's Bookopoly, Cody's Wheel of TBR, Bingo, I've watched Shanice play, G's TBR Vitar, Jade's Trivial Pursuit, and then number 6 just keeps changing for no reason other than how I feel that month. This month my choice was Play Your TBR Right for number 6, and the roll we got was 5. So purple 5 was Jade's Trivial Pursuit. So I will play that at the end after I've rolled all the dice. So we've got one book so far, but we'll talk about TBR Pursuit later. Is the orange dice, and for orange we rolled a 6. The orange dice as well as the green dice correspond to just a list of 6 random prompts or other ways of picking books. And orange 6 is a 5-star author blurb. That's what I wrote down. Basically what that means is I take a book that I gave a 5-star and I read a book by one of the authors that did a little quote on the front or the back, kind of thing. So I was scrolling through, because I don't have a ton of physical books, so I was trying to go through Goodreads to see if like the covers showed any of the blurbs. I found one of my 5 stars was Nalini Singh, one of the Psy Changeling books, and on her book there was a quote, blurb, whatever you want to call it, by Christine Feehan, one of my like favorite authors, romance anyways. And this works out fabulously because the next book in her, it's like the bikers, that series, and this one's called A Reckless Road. I think it's Reckless Road. I think it's number 5, and that either just came out in February or comes out at the beginning of March, so it's perfect. I am going to read that one, and I'm super excited! Yay! The next dice roll we have is green, and we got 4. Like I said, green is also a like prompt list, and 4 on there is a nice and easy one that is a short read. And for my short read, I'm going to read I actually have this one here somewhere. So my short read, which I think I had is like under 300 pages, is what I said. And for that, because I'm also reading this for as a book for one of my superheroes for the Avengers Initiative Reading Challenge, so this works out perfectly. And it's When the Moon Was Ours. When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore. I was searching for books with, I think it's for the prompt stars on the cover. I don't know why it was so difficult to find. But I don't remember. I think it's a fantasy romantic novel. Oh, tinged with magic. So it's about best friends, and one of them, roses grow out of their wrists, and rumors say that she spilled out of a water tower when she was 5. Sam is known for the moons he paints and hangs in the trees. And there's also 4 sisters rumored to be witches, and they want the roses that grow from her skin, from one of the friend's skin, convinced that their scent can make anyone fall in love. So yeah, I don't even know if this was recommended by somebody or if I like looked up a list that said stars on the cover. I have 0 idea where this book came from, but I am interested. I'm excited. I like magical realism. I think it's a very interesting genre, and this has actually got a little blurb by Saba Tahir, from the author of An Ember in the Ashes, and I've only read the first one, but I really liked it. A gripping, beautifully rendered story with prose reminiscent of Eva Luna, and a fantastical world as captivating as that of the night circus. And I did like me some night circus. So yeah, that's exciting. I will tell you about that later, how that goes. The next roll, not the last roll, no, was blue. Blue is the number of how many cards I get to pick from Jesse's TBR deck from Bowties and Books. They put them on sale and I picked them up because I love the cards. And so we rolled a 1. I don't know why I'm sad. Like, I'm already reading enough books, but I just really want to be able to pick more books out. I might. But let's see. And so, like, this is interesting. I'm going to put up a clip here, so you'll be looking at past Gina, who was really impatient to do her TBR and apparently couldn't even wait until her daughter was done having school right next to her. So this is silent Gina picking a card, and we've shuffled a ton, as you can see, and we will see what we get. Ooh, Bharat, set in India is our prompt. And now back to me. Oops. So, as you saw there, silent past Gina, such a hot mess, picked the prompt set in India. Do I still have it over here? So yeah, we got the, don't mind my washi tape holder, Bharat, the set in India card. And I don't know why this was so difficult. I feel like I'm just super picky and didn't really want like a historical fiction or contemporary fiction because I do struggle with those sometimes, and I just didn't want to deal with that. I really wanted either just a light, fun romance. So, after much deliberation and back and forthing and whatnot, and also seeing what was available on Scribd or at my library, I found a middle grade, which I think I just picked up from the library. I did. And that is, what's his name was just talking about this. So I believe it better be set in India. I'm pretty sure it is. Or like a India-like fantasy world, I believe. And that's Arusha and the End of Time by Roshani Chokshi. And so this is a cute little middle grade. I honestly have no idea what this is about. This is one of those things where I had a romance book. It was like a Jane Austen retelling, those pricey Shakur girls. But it wasn't available anywhere for me to read. So, this is just a middle grade. Arusha has a tendency to stretch the truth in order to fit in at her private middle school. While her classmates are jetting off to exotic vacations, she'll be spending her autumn break in the Museum of Ancient Indian Art and Culture that her mom curates. Is it any wonder Aru makes up stories about being royalty, traveling to Paris, and having a chauffeur? And then 3 schoolmates show up to catch her in a lie, and she ends up freeing a demon from a lamp, and then they have to stop the demon, and adventures. So that should be fun and exciting. I've been kind of digging the middle grades, really since Polarthon. Oh, what is happening back there? Whatever. Um, and so yeah, so that was our only Bowties and Books card, Sad Panda. And now we have the yellow dice. And our yellow dice, we rolled a 6. The yellow dice, I just like to make things apparently more complicated than they need to be. The yellow dice corresponds to Goodreads filter pick. So I'll read the 6th book on Goodreads after I've filtered it. To pick the filter, another step. Whatever. I do too much. So once again, this is the same day that Silent Gina picked her Jessie's cards. Now I will silently pick out. I watched this back and it's just freaking ridiculous. I'm special. Will pick out my Goodreads filter from this lovely jar that I'm shaking and making faces while I do it for comic relief, I guess. But okay. So here we go. We have it. I'm very intrigued. And let's see if this works. We've got number ratings descendings. So what I do now is I go to Goodreads, or what I did, I go to Goodreads and I filtered it by the number of ratings descending. So basically, not the book with the highest rating, but the 6 most rated books. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good, like a high rated book. Most likely. And of course, because why not? I had no plans whatsoever starting this author with this book. But 6 on my list was The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I actually you'll notice that the number of male authors on my list is smallish in comparison in total, especially white men. But I am intrigued by Sanderson. I was going to initially start with something smaller, like Mistborn, I think, or Elantris, but I guess we're going all in, and we are reading The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. And you know what? Once again, I don't know anything about this book. It's like, I guess here's the thing. I knew at one point, I read the synopsis. Or I've heard people talk about the synopsis, like, who talks about Sanderson a lot that I watch? What's her name? Brain fart. Her name is Murphy Napier talks about the Sanderson series and high fantasy stuff like this a lot. But The Way of Kings is definitely epic, high fantasy, I guess. And this is the start of the Stormlight Archive. And I believe this is about a war. There used to be orders of knights called the Knights Radiant, and their weapons were called shard blades, and their armors were called shard plate. And apparently wars were fought for this armor and swords. It transformed ordinary men into near invincible warriors. So there's a war going on over this material, and you have a gentleman who traded a medical apprenticeship for a spear to protect his little brother, and he has been reduced to slavery. It says, in a war that makes no sense, where 10 armies fight separately against a single foe, he struggles to save his men and to fathom the leaders who consider them expendable. And then you've got somebody who commands one of those other armies. And there's a text called The Way of Kings. I don't know, like, lots of stuff happening. And we'll see. I have a bunch of my friends, like in real life friends, rated it 5 stars, so that's promising. I don't read a ton of high epic fantasy, and I hope I don't get lost. Okay, do you know what time it is now? It's time to play Trivial Pursuit. So we're gonna back it up. So as you can see, so what I did is I didn't feel like doing big boards that I had to keep safe or find a way to store, especially with 2 dogs and 2 kids. So I just did a 2-page spread in my bullet journal. And so here we have my TBR Pursuit game board. And the colors are a little switched up from what Jade had, but mostly the same. I think a couple got switched because I couldn't figure out what color. I don't know, whatever. So my blues are generals, reds are other, purple adult fantasy, orange is YA fantasy, yellow is science fiction, and green is middle grade. And I went through literally all of Jade's videos and wrote down prompts that she had, and then made a few more. I didn't come up with a ton of prompts, just a few, and then I made little, where are you? I mean, not the greatest, but just used black pieces of paper and then printed. So like I got a bunch of these little cards. And then here is the footage. Okay, so we can go, I think I have any of the colors as options. Yeah. So, let's go to let's go to other. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, he's not going to stand up. So we're going to go to other. And got my little cord teal. I'll take the first one. And red. Oh! A book that is really hyped. For this, I'm going with another book that came in from the library today. I mean, I might be stretching this a little bit. I don't know if it's like hyped, but I know that in the circles that I watch, a lot of people talk about it and say that it's really good. I wouldn't say it's super hyped because it's not recent, but I'm taking it. And that is, Homegoing by Ya Gassi. And this is I think it's just like a literary fiction, maybe, but it's a book set in Ghana, traces 300 years, and follows 2 half-sisters born into different villages. One marries an Englishman and lives in comfort, and the other one is imprisoned beneath her sisters in the castle's dungeon, sold with thousands of others into the slave trade and shipped off to America. And so I've heard that it's like a really great read and maybe kind of hard-hitting and emotional, so pray for me. And our next roll. Okay. 6. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Middle grade, green. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or another red other. You know, let's go for a middle grade. Let's see if I can get one of each. I wasn't going to do 6. Oh, shoot. We're doing 6. And hopefully I can make them all fit. And we'll just take the top card again. And we have green and, ooh, nice. We've got wild card. For this middle grade, this one, I guess I should have picked this one as a hyped book because it honestly is. It's like everybody. I feel like everybody is talking about this middle grade. Gavin, Jess Owens, maybe even Bree from Locked Booktrician. I think she might have read it. Maybe. But that is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This is a pretty awesome cover. And like everybody's been giving this 5 stars. This follows Amari Peters, whose brother Quentin has been missing, but she has never stopped believing that he is alive, even if the police tell her otherwise. So it looks like, is she going to... So she's trying to investigate what happened to Quentin, or to find him. And there's I guess a secret organization, the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. And she decides to compete for a spot in this organization to help find her brother. So I'm excited to read this one. Everybody's just been raving about it. Roll number 3, a 6 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Red other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yellow sci-fi. Let's do sci-fi. And mix them up again. And oh. So here's our card, and it's a sci-fi set on Earth. And for this, I do not have a copy of this yet. I'm still waiting for it from the library. But for this, I'll be reading Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor. And I've heard somebody talk about this one recently. This is a first contact, I believe, story. Something crashes into the ocean off the coast of Lagos, Nigeria. And 3 people find themselves running a race against time to save the country they love and the world itself from itself. So yeah. So it's okay. I don't know for why. Maybe just because of the cover. I was worried that people had, like, there's going to be a subsection of people that had, like, classify it as, like, horror or something. I don't know why. That was just the feeling that I got from it. And I'm just like, oh, I hope not. I don't do well with horror. But it looks like we might be safe. And I have been eating up Nnedi Okorafor, so I'm excited. 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 purple is adult fantasy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll again. You know what? Let's just go to purple. I'm okay with that. And also because I can't fit the whole TBR in the camera. So this was purple. And mix up the cards again. And our purple is a standalone. I don't know what I was thinking when I put this prompt down for this color, because I feel like it's just part of the genre adult fantasy. You've got series and trilogies and sagas. Like, that's what happens with adult fantasy. So I don't know. This one, it took me a while to find a standalone. But for this, I am reading The Priory of the Orange Tree, which I don't currently have with me. I think it's on Scribd. I'm going to read it on Scribd. And this book, why do I do this to myself? Over 1,000 pages. What? Am I insane? Pretty much. Pretty much. I am insane. And this one is by Samantha Shannon, who also wrote the Bone Season books, which I have started, and I did enjoy the first one. So hopefully maybe that means I'll enjoy another book written by her. This one I believe has dragons, which I love me some dragons. This one is A World Divided, a Queendom Without an Heir, an ancient enemy awakens. The queen must conceive a daughter to protect her realm, but assassins are getting closer. And then you have dragon riders. I'm excited for this one. I'm torn. There's a part of me that's excited, and the part of me that's terrified because it's over 1,000 pages. Like, it's massive. I don't know. And then I think we have one more roll, maybe? Here we have roll 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A roll again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I guess for rolling again. Either way. Whatever. Cool beans. Okay, we are rolling again. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I'm not getting all of the colors, but that's okay. Do I want another sci-fi or another adult fantasy? Let's go back to adult fantasy. Who am I kidding? Okay. And the prompt for that is... Woohoo! Wild card. This. Thank you. Thank you. And so for this, I'm trying to whittle down my series and process list. And I'm going to read the second book in the Broken Earth trilogy, The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. I read the first book last year, I think, at the end of last year. I don't even know how to describe this book, but it was really good. A really good book. And so I'm excited to find out where it goes. And I'm not going to really explain it. I'm sorry. Sorry. This is already getting too long. Roll number 6. Last one. Here we go. 2. Okay. Roll again. Oh no, he doesn't want to stay. What can I put on here? Can I set the cards down? Will that make it heavier now? Okay, kind of. So, rolling again. It's cool. It's cool. It's good. 4. 1, 2, 3. Roll again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I go up? I don't know if those are in her rules. Or Trivial Pursuit's rules. I know you do when you've got all your pies and you're going to win. I don't. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I haven't gotten an orange yet, so I'm gonna say I can, and I'm gonna go to orange. And we're going to go into the cards, and we're gonna pick our prompt for young adult fantasy. Okay. And here we go. Our prompt for young adult fantasy is a book that matches the topic color. I went with one of the romances on my TBR, and that is Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. Ali? I don't know, I just felt like I rhymed that. But this one I will be doing on Scribd, I think, listening to it. And I only know it's a romance. 2 characters. I believe one might be Muslim. I don't think they're both Muslim, but one of them might be. And I don't know if they meet at the airport. They meet while traveling. And I've heard lots of really great things about this book, so I'm super excited. Yay! And that's the end. That is it. Those are all of my books for March TBR Clever Game. Not all the books I'm reading in March, but all the books for TBR Clever. So we have The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, Homegoing by Yag Yassi, Reckless Road by Christine Feehan, Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Elston, Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor, The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin, Arusha and the End of Time by Roshani Chokshi, When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore, and Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. So let me know if you enjoyed this, if you think there's something I should do differently to switch it up, or if you have any suggestions for rewards or giveaways at the end of the 6 months. And that's it. Thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one.